Hello, my name is Tristan Stevens Fleming. I am currently a high school student of North Peace Secondary School in Fort St. John. I'm a BCGEU member. I work for the city of Fort St. John as a rec attendant, and I'm also part of the Just Boogwicht Métis band. This is my submission for the BCGEU scholarship. So the question that I picked was, what does land back mean to you, and how does that relate to the labor movement? So the way that I structured this, I interviewed two people actually, and based my answer around the answers that they'd given me. So I'll introduce the two people now. Could you introduce yourself first, maybe, and
Sure.
your position?
Okay, so my name is Carmen Davies, and I'm the Indigenous Youth Care Worker at North Peace.
My name is Aviva, and I am happy to help you with this assignment today.
So I asked them a couple of questions that kind of helped me build up my answer. So I'm gonna show you the questions that I asked, and then afterwards I'll tell you what I think of the question. What does the land back movement mean to you, and why is it important?
So land back to me represents the importance of recognizing the Indigenous ownership of the land here in Canada, and the importance of connecting the current state of what it's like to be Indigenous in Canada with our historical decisions around how we treat Indigenous people.
So why is the land back movement important for Indigenous people in BC?
I think it's important for people in BC because there's so much Indigenous culture in the province, and it's important to preserve it.
So now I'm gonna answer the first part of the question. What does land back mean to me? Well, based off of the two interviews with Ms. Carmen and Ms. Aviva, land back to me, it's a movement where Indigenous people it's more as Indigenous people wanting their traditional lands back. When Canada was first colonized, the Indigenous people made treaties with the Europeans that came and settled here to share the land, which isn't really what happened. They ended up just being bunched into small pieces of land. So the land back movement is all about trying to get back the land that was promised to them by the government way back when. For the last part of the question, I asked Miss Aviva how the land back movement is related to the labor movement.
So the labor movement is all about helping people to have, to be paid fairly for their time in employment, to be treated respectfully, to have safe working conditions, to have a certain amount of protection with their jobs, which really just allows us to focus on showing up in the best way we can and to take care of our families and to be good stewards in our community. And so it creates a sense of safety and security, which all people need. Land back movement is really it's the same thing. If you think about it, Indigenous people have been treated incredibly bad by previous government initiatives, by colonial people who have settled here, and they don't have a sense of security. They don't have a sense of belonging. And when you have that for so many generations, it creates an environment where how could you just focus on taking good care of your family and being a good steward in your community. So the land back movement is about creating that same sense of, I am safe here, I will be respected here, and I have the ability to thrive here.
For the last part of the question, how does the labor movement relate to the land back movement? How do their values align? So honestly, the labor movement, it's about workers protesting for workers' rights, workers' safety, and things like that. And in my opinion, the land back movement is essentially the same. It's Indigenous peoples protesting for their right to their lands back. So it's for rights and their safety. In conclusion, land back to me is a movement where Indigenous people protest for their lands back, and the values that it shares with the labor movement is that Indigenous people are fighting for their rights and their safety. I just want to thank both Miss Aviva and Miss Carmen for allowing me to interview them, and I want to thank you for your time.